Good morning, welcome to the Quagsire only run on the RetroBrown channel. This is going to be an interesting one because we've already done the Wooper run right at the start of the Johto runs, and it didn't fare to all too well. It was really struggling. But with its evolution, I think we're going to do a lot better this time round. It's got water ground type and a base stat total of 430. Majority of that's in its HP, its attack and defense, and then special attack, special defense, kind of middle of the road, and the speed is kind of got awful at 35. We don't really start off with the best moveset as well. We get Water Gun, we get Tail Whip. Water Gun will be fine for the first gym, but it's not going to be fine for the rivals Pokemon really. When we look at our TM moveset as well, it's quite varied in the sense that we've got quite a lot of normal moves. We get ground type moves, of course. We get even rock type moves with Sandstorm, we get Sludge Bomb, we get Toxic, Curse, which will be great, and also Iron Tail, which is also pretty good as well, depending on the Pokemon we're going against, especially the Aerodactyl for Lance. That could be a good option for us. But one of the major things that you know with having low base speed as well is the fact that it's very hard to run away from random fights, and yeah, I try and use repels wherever I can, but a lot of the time you just can't. It just wastes a lot of time in the same sense. I haven't really measured up yet whether it wastes more time to use repels or not, but probably on the latter. So once we've visited Mr. Pokemon, we can get the Pokemon Egg and progress back to Cherry Grove. Is it Cherry Grove? I think it is. Either way, we can go against the rival there, and that'll be a good indicator of how this early game is going to go, because with us having a water ground type and we're going to choose the rival having the better chance against us, they're going to start off with Chikorita. Now the very first fight, that Chikorita won't have any grass type moves, but considering we're quad weak to it, Azalea Town fight is going to be incredibly difficult because it does get Razor Leaf by that point. So let's see how we do. Chikorita versus Quagsire, and because Water Gun is resisted, we are doing barely any damage. I completely forgot again to take off the berry. I don't know why it always eludes me, but yeah, we forgot to take off the berry, and that is probably the only reason why we've got a chance in this fight. Normally, we would not have a chance in this fight because Tail Whip reduces defense and not special defense. So it's kind of useless for the starting moveset that we get with Water Gun and Tail Whip. We get down to 1 HP, and thanks to that berry we actually had enough to get through, but normally we would have lost that fight. But it's an alright indicator. We get the experience from that first Pokemon, and we can go and name our rival for today. Our rival for today is going to be Gibbsy. Thank you for subscribing and welcome to the channel, really appreciate it. And we'll see how we do against you in this run. Once we've started off the full quest by giving him the mystery egg, we can progress on to Violet City with the first challenge that we have to deal with, which of course is Falkner the Flying type trainer. He's got a Pidgey and a Pidgeotto, both under level 10. And he's not exactly going to be the hardest gym leader for us, but we'll soon see what we do when we've only got Water Gun to deal with and we're going in under-leveled at level 8. Well, it'll probably be level 9 by the time we get there because we've got one more gym trainer, but yeah, let's see how we do. Falkner starts off with his Pidgey, and normally it would use Mud Slap to lower your accuracy, but because we have that sub-ground type, it's not going to use it, it's only going to go for Tackle. That brings into the Pidgeotto with full accuracy, and Gust's doing about 5 points of damage, so as long as we can outpace it with our damage output, we should be okay to go against this Pidgeotto and win at the level cap. Considering this is a second stage evolution, I'm not surprised we managed to do that at the level cap. It's a decent Pokemon, Quagsire, but the early game is going to be very difficult for us. Once we progress down towards the next tunnel, we go against the same trainer with the Wooper that managed to defeat us a few videos ago, and yeah, we get our comeuppance here. I actually want to know what happens if we ever even get that £1 million, like the $1 million Pokédollars to actually buy that Slowpoke tail. Because I don't even know, even with a cheat, whether that's even possible, because I'm pretty sure it caps out with like $1 less than that total that he's actually wanting. Either way, the next cave here is not a problem to us whatsoever. There's a lot of Pokemon weak to water type, so Water Gun is a good move to get through. We have now picked up Slam as a move at level 11, and we've also got Mud Slap on our moveset, so we should have enough to work with to go against the next gym leader. Slam being probably the better move to be using here, but also we got Tail Whip to help. Let's see how we do against Bugsy. We're after Bugsy's Hive Badge here, and first off he's going to send out his Kakuna and his Metapod. Both of them only increase their defenses and use Tackle or Poison Sting, so either way, our Water Gun's not going to be affected by that. The worst thing that could happen is if we got poisoned, but now the big challenge comes up with the Cypher. Now, my strategy here is because it's going. We do have decent bulk to us, so it's going to take quite a few turns for Fury Cutter does maximum damage. So what I'm aiming to do is to reduce its defense with Tail Whip and then slam it down. But the worst thing about slam, it's only got 75% accuracy, which is terrible, really. In Pokemon, if you don't have 100% accuracy, you might as well have none. It's pretty much as simple as that some days. This time around, we do get poisoned, but we go into the Cypher and we manage to get a couple of Tail Whips off, and he only goes for quick attack to start off with, meaning he's going to take more turns to get up his Fury Cutter, and we're down at 10 HP before a Slam comes in and one-shots it. And that's how you beat Bugsy pretty easily with a Quagsire. And that just leaves the next big challenge, or probably the biggest challenge of the entire video, really. Gibbsy here is back of his new improved team, and this is going to be a challenge. So we're level 18 going into this one. Mudslap will be more than enough to take out this Ghastly, but we do not outspeed it at level 18 because of our bad base speed. The Bayleaf comes in and it has Razor Leaf, which is quite effective to us, and as much as I tried in vain, Mudslap just wasn't helping us there. So what we did, we went up to level 23, which is kind of high level, but we learnt the move Amnesia. Now the Ghastly, even if it paralyzes us, not the worst thing in the world. But once we've got our Amnesia fully set up, our special defense is through the roof. This means Razor Leaf will do a lot less damage. You can see that I did about 15 damage, 10 to 15 damage. Meaning we can go into that Zubat pretty healthy and getting quite a comfortable win. But that is by far the hardest fight that we've had to do, and probably one of the hardest fights we'll have for quite a while now. That brings us over to Whitney's Gym and Goldenrod, and from here, we've got the Miltank to contend with. It's another gym Pokemon with an accumulation move, so we need to do something drastic here. So my strategy here was to go for Ice Punch. That way we can try and get the freeze chance, and considering the look of this channel, it's kind of possible, not 100% guaranteed. So we're going for that 10% freeze chance, 20% freeze chance. I can't remember which one it is. And this time round, with only 8 HP, we get the freeze on the first Ice Punch, giving us the win first time round. Really, really happy at that one, because Whitney sometimes can be a right chore to go against. We get the move for Attract, and we progress on. We might use Attract at some point. It's a decent move. Like, it really helps you out in later fights, especially like blue and red, when you need to try and tank hits with larger teams to go against. So yeah, pick up the Squirt Bottle, we head over to Ecruteak, and we're going to go straight for Morty's Gym. Now Morty's Gym, I always forget this puzzle a bit. Morty's Gym, the biggest thing about this one, he's got a team of 4 and he likes to spam Curse. So let's see how we do. Because we don't outspeed quite a lot of things, this is what makes this fight very difficult, because straight away, of course, he goes for Curse, and that means we have 4 turns to try and KO all of his Pokemon, and Mudslap is just not doing enough. It's going to be another 6 levels before we get Earthquake, and I'd rather not use that, go to that extent to try and beat him here. I could go and pick up Dig over in the National Park, but yeah, this time Curse gets the better of us, and we try again. This time we go for the Surf, we take it out because we've now beat the Kimono Girls. And going into this one, Surf is just one-shotting most of his Pokemon. The biggest thing we need to deal with is going to be that Gengar. It's going to take a 2-shot on Surf to take it down. We do take some Curse damage, because Curse damage does not hit. If you take out the Pokemon in one, you get to skip the turn of that damage. Final Surf takes it down his final Haunter, and we get the 4th badge. And we're in pretty good time right now. We did lose quite a lot of time around Azalea because of the fact we had to level up. But from there, we're already trying to get back some of that time. I'd say go against the rival in the Burnt Tower as well, just for an optional fight here. Just see if our Ice Punches could start taking out that Bayleaf at this range. We get poisoned, we're cursed, we're in a bad situation. But we're taking out most of his Pokemon pretty comfortably, and then we get to the Magnemite, where a Surf will take it out. I don't know why it's not resisted to Water-type moves, but either way. I do know why it's not resisted. But from there, we can progress on to the Lighthouse and start up the side quest for the Secret Potion. This Secret Potion, of course, means we need to go and travel to another city over in Cianwood, and that's across the sea. So once we've picked up our Surf Pokemon, which will be our Quagsire, and that locks me in one of my movesets out, we can progress on to Chuck's Gym. Now his gym trainers, the two Dojo Brothers right at the start weren't a problem for us. We can tank hits pretty comfortably with our decent bulk, but from there, it's just Chuck that we really need to worry about, more for the moves that he has on his Pokemon. Once we've beaten Black Belt Lung, we can give him a go. Black Belt Lung is a weird name, really. Is like in English, lung is, you know, the body, the organ, the body part. But I think in Asia it actually is a name, isn't it? Lung, yeah. I'm not 100% sure. Either way, we don't do too well against Chuck the very first time round, and we also get hit by Dynamic Punch twice in a row. Not a great scenario, but with Dynamic Punch only having 50% accuracy, it gives us a chance that we can actually win this quite comfortably. Surf will take out the Primeape in 2 when we're at half HP going into the Poliwrath. All of our other moves apart from Headbutt are resisted, so we need to go for Headbutts to get the win. If we could outspeed, we could get the flinch chances, but we can't. This time round though, Dynamic Punch doesn't hit, and we're going to remove Headbutt for Earthquake. It served its use, but Earthquake gets the stab damage that we need. Much more powerful move, happy to have it on the roster. Returning to Olivine and giving the secret potion to Amphi, we can now challenge Jasmine, because with this typing on Quagsire, we're honestly going to sweep this gym pretty comfortably. Water type is great against most of the Pokemon, so let's see how we do. Mineral Badge is up for grabs here, and we're just going to go straight for the Earthquakes on the Magnemites. And on the Steelix, we want to hit it with a big Surf. Nearly takes it out in one, which I'm really annoyed that it doesn't take it out in one, and then he sets up Sunny Day, which puts us in a bad position. So this is why we need to use Earthquake, where we get a rare critical hit for us, bringing us into the final Magnemite, and we finish this fight without taking a single point of damage, which doesn't happen all too often against Jasmine. And that's 6 gym badges, meaning there's only one more location to go to. We need to go over to Mahogany Town and start the Rocket side quest here. I'm not going to gripe about it today, we're just going to get on with it. Rocket side quest here starts off with beating the red Gyarados down, and considering it knows Dragon Rage, and most times when you're going against this you don't have high HP Pokemon, Dragon Rage can be very problematic. We beat it quite comfortably though, and then talk to Lance. And he's going to tell us here that he's going to go and Hyper Beam some guy in Mahogany Town, so we go and watch the show. He hits him into the wall, and we progress down into the secret base. At the end of the secret base, of course, we have the 2 rockets here. I'm pretty sure, I can never remember the name of the woman here, but she's not a problem for us whatsoever. She's got a very low level team, but again, this is the infamous Johto level curve that we have, and we have to deal with in this game. I don't know why in the Heart Gold Soul Silver remakes they didn't, like, rectify this at all, but yeah, I'm actually not a fan of Heart Gold Soul Silver, if I'm being honest. I much prefer the Gen 2 Gold and Silver games, but that's just my personal preference. Let's see how we do against Price. So, Price has got 3 Pokemon, Seal, Dugong and Piloswine. We haven't done anything from the Swine or Piloswine line yet, so that'll be interesting to see when it comes up. Ice and Ground type is very unique, but it also has a lot of weaknesses, which we take advantage of here by using Surf. Easy fight, easy badge, easy win. Price is trash. As I was saying there, like, I don't enjoy Heart Gold Soul Silver. I don't know why, I just never enjoyed it anywhere near as much. Even to likes when it came out, I did buy the game, and after maybe completing it once, I was just like, I'm just going to go back to Gold and Silver. Like, I just enjoyed the experience and the graphics and such a lot more in these games than I ever did on Heart Gold Soul Silver. And it's probably not a popular opinion that I prefer these games to the remakes, but at the same time, I prefer some of the Pokemon games which are more hated by the fandom. Like, I enjoy Gen 6, I enjoy Gen 8, and yet they are 2 of the most hated generations in all of Pokemon, and I don't understand why. They're great games. I mean, it's only an opinion, but yeah. I've talked through most of the rival fight here with Gibbsy. We take him down pretty comfortably after taking 1 loss at the start. But when you've got the current moveset you've got, he's pretty comfortable at this level. Even if we get mean looked, we're not running from this. We're going straight for the Earthquakes, taking him out completely, and progressing on to the final stages of the Rocket side quest, which is Archery. I'm pretty sure this guy is. Most of his team are weak to every move we've got. Actually, they all are. We've got Surf for the Houndoom, the Houndour, and we've got Earthquake for the Coffin because it doesn't have Levitate yet. Actually, really, that's one thing I do enjoy about later generations is they did include those abilities, like the Levitate, and that made the game a lot better. And I'm still undecided right now as to whether once I finish Gen 1 and 2, whether I'll actually progress onto Gen 3 straight away. I've really enjoyed doing all of the challenge videos right at in the month of RetroBrown just gone, back in December. They were really interesting. Like, they gave me new ways to play the game that I've never done before. So I might honestly take a few months out, or even half a year, just focusing on challenge runs after this year's month for RetroBrown. Yes, I am probably going to keep all of the challenge runs and the monotype runs for this year in that month right at the end of the year. That way you've got a lot of good videos, and I don't have to rush them, I can take my time. Anyway, I've talked a lot. Let's see how we do against Claire to get the Rising badge. She's going to start off with her 3 Dragonairs, and we're at level 48 going into this with Ice Punch. Ice Punch is probably going to lose its usefulness pretty soon after the league, but for now it's doing pretty good against her Dragon type. So that brings us to the Kingdra, which only has a weakness to Dragon Pokemon. Surf does massive damage to us, and then she Hyper Beams us into the ground. And yeah, this fight actually took me a few tries, so I ended up having to level up to level 50 just to get ourselves a little bit more speed to deal with the Dragonairs. That way we didn't get any hits taken, and we could try and set up a few Amnesias if need be. The Kingdra here, I actually opted to use Earthquake, and it did neutral damage, pretty good damage on that as well, and even with the smoke screen she had no chance against it. That's all 8 gym badges, and we can progress on to the Pokemon League. But before the Pokemon League, I found the challenge that actually really threw me off, because right outside the Tojo Falls, we go against this trainer here who has a Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, and then Venusaur. And I was going at this very confident that Ice Punch would just one-shot everything. I wasn't even really thinking about it here. And then the Venusaur came out and tanked an Ice Punch and put us to sleep. And that was it. Razor Leafs came out. We couldn't wake up. I didn't even have any items. I mean, I don't try and use items when I'm in fights anyway, but this isn't a major fight. But yeah, it still took me by surprise. And I did take a loss there. Very unexpected, but yeah. Got to concentrate the entire way through. Our final fight with Gibbsy takes place in Victory Road, where he starts off with Sneasel this time. I fully set up on Amnesia because in this generation the badge boost glitch doesn't exist, and it means that it's not broken. So I'm more inclined to use it like stat boosting moves now the badge boost glitch isn't there. And that makes for some nice strategies, really. We take down most of his Pokemon pretty quickly because we've got the ridiculous special defense from Amnesia, and from there we can take a pretty comfortable win and progress on to the Elite Four. Thank you, Gibbsy, for being our rival for today. Hope you've enjoyed the video. So the first Elite Four member we need to contend with is of course Will, the Psychic type trainer. Let's see how we do. Will starts off with Xatu, and we do have pretty much good coverage for his entire team. Ice Punch can do good against the Psychic Birds. It's going to do well against the Psychic Tree here. Even if we don't get confused, it manages to freeze it. And this should have actually been the point that I set up Amnesias as well, because Jinx can hit hard. Thankfully, he goes for Lovely Kiss this time round and brings us into Slowbro. Now, Slowbro we don't have an answer for because, well, we don't have any super effective moves, but 2 Earthquakes are more than enough, and then a final Ice Punch will take out the final Xatu. Pretty comfortable first win. We're actually quite low leveled for one of my runs in the Elite Four in Johto here, level 54. Let's see how we do against Koga. Koga, he shouldn't be too much of a problem really. We've got ground type moves are great against this team because he's got a lot of poison types. Super effective against Venomoth because it is bug poison. Well, it's not super effective, it's neutral, but either way. And then the Fortress becomes a big problem. It has Protect, it likes to use Spikes and Toxic, but it's the Protect Toxic that is really weighing us down. We're losing HP quite quickly, and unless we can take out most of his Pokemon in one hit, which we can't at this range, yeah, we're getting down onto low HP pretty quickly. His final Muck comes out, and hopefully we're getting a crit here. No, super effective. Earthquake is just a one-shot. I thought Muck was a lot tankier than that to be able to at least tank the Earthquake, but if not. Let's see how we do against Bruno. So far, we've beaten 2 Elite Four members on our first try. Bruno is usually trash, and he's definitely got an upgrade since the Kanto days. His Hitmonlee, not really a problem whatsoever. Surf is a special move, so it does do quite a lot of damage against his fighting types, but they are managing to tank our hits quite comfortably. Mach Punch will only chip away at us, but takes 2 Surfs to take down the Hitmonchan. We're about half HP here going into the Machamp, and the Machamp of course knows Cross Chop. Now we need to take it down in one as not to see that, because that can happen. We can get critical hit Cross Chopped. Not a great scenario. Cross Chop, incidentally was the move that I used to get through my Smeagol only run. When it came to that Snorlax on red, Cross Chop was the move that made the difference, because super effective against Snorlax, hits hard. Yeah, it was perfect move to be using. Hitmonchan this time round, Mon just want to get one Mach Punch off. What I should have been doing last time was taking advantage of our better special, our better base attack rather than our special attack. So Earthquake's the best move to be using here really until you go against the likes of the Onix, where you can use Ice Punch or Surf Takedown quite comfortably. If I'd done that the first time round, probably wouldn't have lost. Anyway, let's progress on to Karen. Karen starts off with a Umbreon, and this is a bit of a tanky boy. So we're going to use Earthquake, try and deal as much damage as possible, and hopefully not deal much damage in confusion where we hit ourselves twice in a row before getting no more confused. Vileplume comes out next and we go for the Ice Punch, and it's still not a one-shot, but we get the freeze, giving us a chance to set up Amnesias, and once this is set up, this fight is completely ours. She does use a lot of physical attacks. She's actually quite a good mixed attacker, Karen, but most of her Pokemon are quite frail as well. Apart from the Vileplume, I think Vileplume's got the best defense apart from Umbreon, but Houndoom, Murkrow and Gengar, not the best defensive Pokemon. We take down Karen first time and progress on to the champion. Let the music roll, because this is going to be a fun one. Biggest problem we have against Lance, he starts off with a water type which we don't have a great answer for. So what can we do here, because he's just going to chip away at us. We set up one Amnesia to see if it can mitigate some of the damage, and then try for the Ice Punch freeze. If we can get it frozen, that's a good position to be in. And then I remembered it also has Hyper Beam. We're only one Pokemon in, and yeah, we need to try something different. Thankfully, there's a move that I picked up in the Icy Path as well. We can put Rest on our moveset and get rid of Earthquake, because we do have the TM for Earthquake if we need to teach it again, but with Rest, we can fully set up our Amnesias, making sure that they only go for their physical type moves, which of course we can rest from. From there, we'll use Ice Beam to try and get the freeze on this Gyarados, or we'll try and PP stall his Hyper Beams. From there, free Ice Punch will take it out, but we're going to rest back up just before we take it down, because with him having those recharge turns as well, it means that we can wake up a lot quicker and take less damage. That brings us into the first Dragonite, where we don't outspeed, because why would we outspeed a Dragonite as a Quagsire? We take it down with an Ice Punch, and we're tanking Hyper Beams left, right and centre. We're down to half HP going into the third Dragonite. He's already thrown all three of them out at us straight away. And from here, he goes for his Hyper Beams. It'll take 4 of them to take us down. This time he switches to Outrage, and we go for the Ice Punch. Charizard is out next, and we're going to go straight for Surf. And we're on half HP going into his final Aerodactyl. Hyper Beam will do big damage against us, but with that recharge turn, we've got 2 chances to get Surfs in. All we needed was 1. Quagsire becomes the Pokemon League champion. So let's see what time we finished on. We actually finished at quite a low level for one of my runs in Johto. Let's see how we finished. Level 57, pretty low level, but at 5 hours 50 minutes, yeah. That early game really screwed us over on the time, and I'm not too sure what I could have done differently, because the moves that were available at that point in the game just so lax. Like, there's very little moves you can use at that point in the game. That brings us into Kanto, and we'll see how we do against the former champion Blue. Blue, of course, starts off his Pidgeot, and it's not the worst Pokemon to start off against. We can set up Amnesias because he's not going to do all too much damage with his wing attacks, but he can also use Mirror Move to also increase his special defense when we've used Amnesia. So as much as we're chipping away at him, he's chipping away at us, and we're at half HP going into the next Pokemon. So I decide to rest up before going into the next Pokemon, because we probably won't take all too much damage. We'll probably, oh wow, a critical hit. Yeah. He decides to rest up as well, and from here, this fight is ours. We can Ice Punch him all the way into the ground, but we are losing PP on Ice Punch, and we kind of need it for some of the other Pokemon. We're down at 90 HP going into it. That was kind of pointless that I even rested up there, but it's going to do half damage on Exeggutor, who goes for a Solar Beam. Next up is the Alakazam, and as long as we can tank 1 Psychic, we should be okay to get a Surf in and do decent damage. I believe we got to set up Amnesia, which means that we're not going to deal we're not going to take too much damage from his psychic attacks. We're just chipping away at him. This Alakazam can do barely anything to us, and this is quite an easy fight, really, up to this point. And then the Gyarados comes out. Oh, the dreaded Gyarados that gave me a problem against Lance. We need to try and get it frozen while he's using Twister, trying to flinch us, but we're just going to rest back up and take him down in our own time. Hyper Beam does decent damage, but from there, he's going to use this is just going to elongate the fight where he uses full restores. Hope he doesn't use all too many of them. I really hope that's not an epic foreshadow. He uses a second crit. Oh, at least we're burning them out instead of him getting them on our Pokemon. Please, can we get one more in? Yeah, we can get a rest in because he had a recharge turn. And we're just relying on Surf now. Surf is our only attacking move we've got unless we need to stall out our PP and go for Struggle, which I really hope we don't have to do. We're not too high level compared to his team, but thankfully Surf comes in for us and we've got 6 uses left before we go against this final Pokemon. Twister is really... That's 3 flinches in a row. That's annoying. Quagsire goes to level 66 and we've got the Rhydon to contend with. We outspeed a Rhydon because Rhydon's speed is trash. And then brings us into Arcanine. Now extreme speed can be problematic if he gets a crit, but one Surf can take him down pretty comfortably. That's Blue beaten, and from there we progress on to the penultimate fight, which of course is Red. Let's see how we do against the Pokemon Master here. I might have to switch my moveset around, but the moveset we use might be alright. Red starts off his trusty Pikachu, and this is great for us because he cannot do anything with Thunder or Thunderbolt because of our ground typing. This is one of the best things about Quagsire is you have got immunity to electric type moves, meaning we can set up Curse instead of our Amnesia because, to be fair, I'd rather have higher attacking power. We've changed out Ice Punch for Return, just because there are no Pokemon on his team that can resist normal type moves. From there, it doesn't really matter about our speed, we can just use Return, and hopefully this Venusaur will not tank it, thank God, because Soul Beam would have taken it out in 1. Psychic does good damage there because we haven't got Amnesia to set up our special defense. That brings us into Snorlax where we can rest up and get our HP back. Thankfully, Snorlax is a physical attacker, and because we've set up with Curse, we've got full 6 defense, 6+ defense. From there, Return is a one-shot, bringing us into the Blastoise. Now this Blastoise, wow, that's a lot of damage. Please take it out in 1. Yes, we can. Brings us into Charizard. Can we tank a Flamethrower? Just on 2 HP. That's close, my God. Now this is where I got a little... I got a little scared by this Charizard. As soon as we would wake up, we'd already taken 3 Flamethrowers. So I decided, you know what, Flamethrower's only got 15 PP. Let's stall him out and make him use another move. From there, because pretty much in this final fight, I've noticed that every 3 turns you wake up after using Rest. I don't know what it is, but you're coded to wake up every 3 turns. So it gives us a chance to use Rest 3 times, like after every 3 turns. He's wasting his Flamethrower PP. He can't do anything against us. Unless he gets a critical hit, we're pretty alright to tank everything he can throw at us here. Not even when he goes to using Slash and Wing Attack will he have much to work with. He's also got Fire Spin as well. But there we go. He's ran out of Flamethrower PP, and from here, 1 Slash does barely anything. Fire Spin does nothing, and we can return for the win. And there we go. That's how you beat Pokemon Gold with a Quagsire under level 70. I think that's very low leveled. Like, there's not many Pokemon being able to do it under level 70. So I'm really happy with that. I am really happy with that. Quagsire was level 67. What time did we finish on? 7 hours 42 minutes. Yeah, about an hour and nearly just 2 hours to be able to beat Kanto. Just because we don't attack first. You lose a lot of time on that. Let's see what we get next week's wheel. First up is Girafarig, and I've been really wanting to do this one for a while, but it depends if a better choice comes out. Houndoom is second. We've just done the Houndour run the other week, so no, this will not be our option. We're looking like Girafarig right now. Unless an Ursaring comes out. Oh yes, we are going to do an Ursaring only ring. That is a great choice on the wheel. If you got to this point in the video, guys, please smash that like and subscribe, you legends. And we will see you next week for the Ursaring run. Take care.